Remember when Avengers Endgame brought entire theaters to tears, left us cheering, and gave us the epic conclusion we never thought we'd see from a superhero movie? The emotional stakes, the payoffs, and the weight of every decision felt real. But fast forward to today, and many fans are left wondering, where did all the magic go?
Alright, everybody just relax and go. If not, we can just leave it to meet.
Sure, we're still getting the jokes, the action, and the spectacle, but something feels different. It's like there's a hole where the heart used to be. Why do Marvel movies feel empty after Endgame? Today, we're breaking down the 5 biggest reasons why the MCU has struggled to recapture the magic of the Infinity Saga, and how it might be pushing some of its most loyal fans away. Avengers Endgame was more than just a culmination of decades worth of movies. It was the payoff of years of investment in characters, stories, and relationships that spanned multiple films and genres. We didn't just watch these movies, we lived them. We grew alongside Tony Stark from selfish playboy to selfless savior, and we witnessed Steve Rogers' journey from dutiful soldier to the man who finally got his dance. But with the end of this era, the MCU faced an inevitable problem. What comes next? Prequels like Black Widow couldn't move the story forward, and new introductions like the Eternals struggled to resonate because they lacked the emotional foundation built by earlier films. Marvel tried to fill the gaps by expanding its roster of heroes, but without the connective tissue provided by characters we already loved, these new stories felt disjointed. While Phase 1 through 3 laid out a clear path toward the Infinity Saga, there doesn't seem to be the same sense of direction or urgency guiding the current phase. And without that, it feels like we're watching Marvel wander around without a map. With the original Avengers retired or gone, the MCU tried to pass the torch to a new generation of heroes. Sam Wilson is our new Captain America, Kate Bishop is stepping up as Hawkeye, and even young characters like Ms. Marvel are being introduced as the next wave. But here's the thing. These characters haven't had the same build-up or emotional journey. They're stepping into roles left by legends, and it's tough for audiences to instantly care. Take Spider-Man, for example. In No Way Home, we got one of the most emotionally charged Marvel movies since Endgame. But even the film relied heavily on nostalgia from bringing back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. The biggest emotional moments came from revisiting old stories, not from breaking new ground. It's a clear sign that Marvel is struggling to move on from its own past. The newer heroes are essentially carrying on someone else's legacy, and it shows. The stakes feel lower, and the emotional connections just aren't as strong, because we're still in mourning from the original characters who set the bar so high. The result? It feels like we're treading water rather than diving into the next big adventure. Marvel movies have always used humor to lighten the mood, but lately, it feels like the jokes are coming in at the expense of the story's heart.
What you up to, bro?
Go to daddy.
Come on in.
Hey, there you are.
In Thor: Love and Thunder, we saw the God of Thunder face down Gore, the God Butcher, a villain with one of the darkest backstories in the comics. Yet, instead of letting us feel the weight of Gore's tragic loss, the film bombarded us with joke after joke. Now, don't get me wrong, humor is part of what makes Marvel movies enjoyable, but it's all about balance. Earlier films like Guardians of the Galaxy knew how to shift gears from humor to serious moments without breaking the flow. But lately, it feels like Marvel is afraid to let a serious moment breathe. When drama undercuts humor every single time, the emotional impact gets lost. Imagine if Endgame had followed up Iron Man's death with a quick joke. It would have felt cheap. That's how some recent Marvel films have been leaving audiences feeling entertained, but not moved. The Multiverse was supposed to be a game changer for Marvel, an opportunity to explore limitless possibilities.
Who are you? Loki.
You think you're some kind of sorcerer? Don't think for 1 minute you're second-rate.
All right, bye-bye.
But instead of adding depth to the story, it's often used as a plot device to bring back characters or reset mistakes. Yes, seeing all 3 Spider-Men together was an amazing moment, but it worked because it was a special event. If every story starts to use the multiverse as a get-out-of-jail-free card, the novelty will wear off fast. The biggest problem with the multiverse is that it can lower the stakes. If characters can just pop back into existence from another reality, what does it matter if they die? What's the point of emotional investment if we know that another version of the character is just around the corner? It's like the reset button on a video game. It's fun for the first few times, but eventually, it makes the experience feel hollow. Marvel needs to be careful not to turn the multiverse into a narrative crutch. We've seen hints that they're aware of this, but the overuse of the multiverse to fix plot issues could become a bigger problem as more projects rely on it. It used to be that a new Marvel movie was an event something fans would mark on their calendars and eagerly anticipate. But with multiple films and Disney Plus series coming out each year, it's starting to feel like Marvel is throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. When there's so much content being released, it's difficult for each project to maintain the same level of quality. It's not just about whether the shows are good or bad. It's about how they fit into a larger narrative. Shows like She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel may entertain, but do they feel like must-watch content? The more the MCU expands, the harder it becomes for every story to feel important. The real risk here is franchise fatigue. It's not that audiences are tired of superheroes, they're tired of mediocre stories that don't seem to go anywhere. If Marvel wants to keep its fan base invested, it needs to focus on quality over quantity. So, can Marvel find its way back? The potential is still there, with projects like Fantastic Four and Secret Wars, but they'll need to focus on meaningful stories, not just nostalgia or flashy concepts. We want to care about these characters again, to feel the stakes, to experience the kind of epic storytelling that made the MCU what it is. What do you think? Is the magic of the MCU gone for good, or is there still hope for a comeback? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hits and misses of Hollywood.